Very happy to be joined by New York State Senator Lee Zeldin of the 3rd Senate District, and we welcome him back this morning to our program. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Jay.
Good to have you aboard once again. You know, last time we spoke, you are already in that mode as far as the election was concerned. Of course, Senator Zeldin vying for a spot in the 1st Congressional District. Come November the 4th, how has that been going? All eyes focused, I presume.
Well, the election is less than 7 weeks away now that Labor Day is behind us and kids are back at school. Summer is unfortunately winding down. Not to remind anyone, I'm not happy about it myself. Folks are starting to pay a little more attention to the elections coming up in November, and it's just great. Every day, more momentum builds. We see more volunteers come in. A lot more excitement on the streets, and we're just excited about these last 7 weeks, and hopefully a big win on November 4th. As long as we work hard to get our message out, we're confident we'll end up on top.
And I understand there was a big kickoff rally for you last week. How did that go?
Yeah, last Monday we had hundreds of supporters come out to the Center Reach VFW. A lot of veterans and veterans' families came out, which was exciting. It was just a great atmosphere, a lot of positive energy, a lot of new volunteers. So it was a great night. So the momentum keeps building, and it's just very encouraging. I get a lot of energy off of other people's energy when there's so much support like that. A lot of new faces. It just reminds me why we're working so hard to get out the message and win.
I tell you, these days, it's a different strategy than years past. Everybody's knocking on the doors now. This you got about 20,000 households that have certainly come about with Lee Zeldin information being talked about, everything else. That seems to be the new tactic these days, and an effective one.
Well, it's also, I guess, revisiting an old tactic too, because there was a period of time where. And you still have a big emphasis placed on some very expensive forms of campaigning. TV, radio, mail. Those costs can add up. It costs about 6 cents for me to show up at someone's front doorstep with a palm card in my hand to ask for someone's vote in person. When I first ran for Senate in 2010, right. I knocked on 12,000 doors.
Wow.
And a lot of people remember that, and they appreciate that, showing them that effort.
No, it really does. It really does, ring a bell, so to speak, no pun intended. But listen, I still remember when somebody actually knocked on my door on a Sunday afternoon. I was watching a football game. It was raining outside. That particular person was running for the legislator's position in Suffolk County. They did a pretty good job, in my opinion. In the rain, it was chilly out. And that kind of showed me something that seems to be, again, the way to go.
Well, it's interesting. I actually, when I was knocking on all those doors in 2010, I can't even begin to try to count how many doors people said the only other politician that ever stopped at my door was Steve Levy. Just everywhere that I went, and I was thinking about it with some of these doors, they weren't in his assembly district. And it wasn't like he was, knocking on those doors when he was running for county executive. And I'm thinking to myself, this must have been from when he was running for county legislature. And these folks were remembering him coming to their door 12, 15 years ago. It really does leave quite an impact. Folks were, literally over a decade later, and folks are talking about it.
I understand we're talking with State Senator Lee Zeldin, 3rd District, of course, vying for the 1st congressional spot here on the island. From what I understand, the U.S. Chamber now is coming to the district to endorse you. Is that true? Next week?
Yeah, well, we've been getting that's true. On Monday, we have a lot of support coming in from all over, and it's important that people of all backgrounds throughout this district. We have 8 towns in the district. I've been actively traveling all throughout the district as much as possible. And we need to grow our economy and create more good-paying private sector jobs. And I've been able to develop a strong working relationship with the business community, with our employers. I've worked hard up in Albany to do things like repeal the MTA payroll tax for 80% of employers. there have been other policies regarding reducing energy costs, and it's just important that when the opportunity presents itself for our elected officials to improve the business climate, we have to take advantage of it, because we have too many businesses starting up on Long Island and failing, or starting up and leaving. And I'll tell you what else definitely isn't happening is for businesses all across the rest of the country, they're not eyeing Long Island and looking for an opportunity to come here because of that high cost to do business. So, I just want to continue working with the business community to see where I can help them grow and create more jobs.
No doubt about it. And, we always get it here. What about jobs for the kids? They leave high school, they go to college, they come back. Where do you get a job? A lot of them can't even stay here. They can't even house themselves here if they don't live with mom and dad. That's also a big problem here.
Well, right, and they end up starting their families elsewhere. So immediately, as soon as this young family is having their first kid, they're immediately torn apart from grandma and grandpa, because you have to move several states away to be able to buy that first home and afford the cost of living. And it's also, not only, is that parent getting separated from their son or daughter and their grandkid, they're also getting separated from their parent because their seniors are being driven away as well, because of the high cost of what they face in life. So, families are getting torn apart. Everyone has a different breaking point. For some people, it may be the property taxes, or for a young family, it could be the fact that the underemployment. They can go out and get a job, but they're just not making enough. And unfortunately, we're seeing too many people leave the island. They grew up here. We educated them. They would be very strong contributing members of our community, and they're gone before the families even start.
No doubt about it. We know that in Nassau County, they're going to see a little bit of a hike due to their deficit over there as far as property taxes are concerned. Suffolk County, the median home price slipped, I think, by a little over 3.3% compared with the previous year, and still remain about 20% below their peak from August of 2006. As those doors are being knocked on and everything else, is that still the number one point of contention with many, Senator, regarding property taxes?
Well, it usually has something to do with the economy. I would say that's the chief complaint. For one person, it might be the cost of oil. The bread and butter, dollars and cents issues that impact the wallet, like the cost of a gallon of milk. For others, it's the fact that they have a job but they're not making enough, and for someone else, it's their property taxes, which has put them over the breaking point. So as I go around, I find that what comes up the most certainly always has something to do with the economy. But I'm also hearing a lot about concern regarding the growing threat of ISIS. I hear a lot of concern about the need to secure our southern border. Folks are interested in repealing and replacing Obamacare, very concerned about the impacts of Obamacare. Mm-hmm. I also hear a lot about from parents about wanting to stop Common Core. And the other thing, too, is there have been times in the past where I would go door to door and I would talk about various issues, and it's almost like the average person wasn't just completely tuned into all the different issues going on. But what I've experienced this year is every door I go to, somebody has their top issue, and they are passionate about it, they are knowledgeable about it, they want to talk about it, and it's very encouraging, because we really need as many people engaged as possible.
We're talking with State Senator Lee Zeldin. We'll tell everybody there is big volume on the LIE right around exit 60, so you will be prepared for that. And we have cool temps right now, 51 heading to 71 today, lots of sunshine. You mentioned Common Core. I mean, this is an issue that's just never going to go away. We know that I guess some of the scores, they saw some improvement. But still, nonetheless, it's about the implementation, according to many. And you have a lot of people now backtracking on this. And until it's actually reviewed and repealed in a way, it's going to be a big-time issue still.
Well, I believe in higher standards. Common Core isn't the answer. You have these standards created federally, tests created by the state. curriculum set by local school districts, and there's no communication between everyone, and a lot of the material isn't age appropriate. The rollout has been a disaster. We have teachers teaching to the test, and in many respects teaching to a different test because they're making their best guess as to what the test is going to look like, and there are a lot of high stakes attached to it. So I don't believe that our that our standards should be like a one size fits all national approach. It should be driven from state and local level, from educators and parents working together, providing input. And I think a lot of the policies that are coming out, in many respects, it seems like some bureaucrats are tone deaf to the concerns of local educators, concerned and tone deaf to the concerns of parents. So it's definitely a huge issue. The only reason why so many states signed on is because there was money attached to it from the federal government. It was essentially a bribe. I mean, you had some states signing on to Common Core standards before the standards were even created. So it's a huge point of concern for our parents, and it's something that, for me, as a parent of two third graders, I certainly share.
Senator, I got about a minute left. It would be remiss not to ask you, with the president's speech last week, 9/11 Eve, regarding ISIL and the strategy involved there now, mainly airstrikes, no boots on the ground. Agree with the strategy? What do you think we're going from here?
Well, unfortunately...
Nope, I think we lost Senator Lee Zeldin. Did we get him? We got him. All right, we'll get him back for that. I was waiting for that answer. Right now, it is LA News Time, 7:29. We'll take a quick break.
Hi, this is Brian from Simply Divine Caterers. If you're having a party or going to a party, make Simply Divine your first stop. We do beach parties in the Hamptons, corporate functions in Manhattan. We are your one-stop catering company. One call does it all. Besides serving the freshest foods, we can also take care of tents, tables, chairs, and waitstaff. If you're having a barbecue, let Simply Divine take care of all your needs. We can come to your house with a grill, a chef, and all the supplies to make your party a hit. Be a guest at your own party. We also have the best appetizers if you're going to a party. Try our antipasto or our Mexican, our grilled chicken and grilled vegetable. Come on down and sample some of our food. I'm sure you'll be happy. Give Simply Divine a call at 631-656-8196. That's 631-656-8196. We are located at 30 Terry Road in Smithtown. That's 30 Terry Road in Smithtown.
Live from the Sloman Studio at Long Island MacArthur Airport's Broadcast Center. Sloman's, the trusted provider of home security services. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME to find out how you can get the Sloman Shield for free. WRCN Riverhead,
Islip,
Brookhaven,
Southampton.
This is 103.9 LI News Radio.
Good morning at 7:30. I'm Jay Oliver, and this is 103.9 LI News Radio on this Wednesday, September the 17th. Here are some of the stories that we will be covering. A Mount Sinai teenager now faces charges after authorities said he posted a violent threat on social media. Officials said the fire that destroyed a multi-million-dollar Sagaponic home was indeed intentionally set. A Southampton man whose drug conviction was overturned amid a probe of the Southampton Town Police Department has now dropped his lawsuit against the Suffolk County District Attorney. A Middle Island man now due back in court after he allegedly struck and injured a 3-year-old girl in Shirley, that before fleeing the scene. And another one bites the dust. Yes, another casino going down in Atlantic City. In sports, George.
The Yankees lose the game to the Rays and almost lose their cool as the benches clear out last night. The Mets dismantling the Marlins at Citi Field, and the NFL Players Union put in for their appeal of Ray Rice's indefinite suspension. Our sports update on the way in less than 10 minutes, Jay.
All right, George, right now, temps cool, low to mid-50 range. We've got a lot of sunshine on the way, presently out there as well, as we get into the low 70s. We've got those stories and more. Your traffic and weather, of course, every 10 minutes on the 5s, right here on the island's only 24/7 News Talk FM radio station, 103.9 LI News Radio. Well, the Mount Sinai teenager is now facing some charges after authorities say he did post a violent threat on social media. Suffolk County Police say the 15-year-old posted on the social media app Yik Yak that there would be a shooting and a bombing at Mount Sinai High School yesterday. School officials were notified of the threat after parents and students noticed it. The teen, who detectives have not identified, now charged with making a terrorist threat. That is a felony. He was set to appear at Suffolk County Family Court in Central Islip. News 12 Long Island has now learned that fire that destroyed a multi-million-dollar Sagamonac home was indeed intentionally set. The home listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Southampton Town Police telling Newsday there was a person of interest in that fire. However, no arrests have been made at this particular time. The home sits on Sag Main Street, built back in the year 1650. Had a value at over $7 million. LA News Time, 7:33.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Dave Schreiber. The Minnesota Vikings have reversed course and placed star running back Adrian Peterson on the exempt commissioner's permission list, a move that will require him to stay away from the team while he addresses child abuse charges in Texas. Peterson was arrested for hitting his 4-year-old son with a tree branch or switch. ABC's Ryan Smith explains.
Peterson apologized for hurting the boy, but insisted his own parents disciplined him that way, and it helped him. Quote, I have always believed that I could have been one of those kids lost in the streets without the discipline instilled in me by my parents.
ABC's Ryan Smith saying that they're acting on behalf of all NFL players. The Players Union has appealed the indefinite suspension given Ray Rice for knocking out his then-fiancée in an elevator. The union says it must protect due process rights and that the process for Rice has not been fair and impartial. The appeal came on the same day that several major sponsors expressed concerns with the league's response. A vote is expected at the Capitol today on the president's plan to train moderate Syrians to go after ISIS. ABC Stephen Portnoy at the Capitol.
With the backing of the bipartisan leadership, the House is likely to authorize the training and arming of Syrian rebels. But there's some skepticism on both sides of the aisle. New York Republican Chris Gibson is a retired Army colonel who served in Iraq.
These forces on the ground have not shown themselves to be military competent nor politically trustworthy.
Ohio Democrat Marcy Kaptur.
Very, very, very reluctantly, I will support this resolution, but with great misgivings.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News at the Capitol.
Checking global markets, Asian stock markets were mostly higher today. I'm Dave Schreiber, ABC News.
LA News Time is 7:35. Our traffic and weather with big-time buildup as usual on the LIE westbound side, right around 60 or so. So let's check out some details with Nancy Remy.
And we've got our build-up westbound side of the LIE exit 60 to 57, and again from 56 to 55 at Motor Parkway. With a report brought to you by Foundation for a Better Life, we also see the normal delays on the northern state west of Deer Park Avenue and Wolf Hill Road. South Shore, southern state delays westbound in toward 109 and 110, and the trek over on the Sunrise will build east and westbound near Great Neck Road and Straight Path, and then again on the eastbound side toward Hampton Bays. The trains, LIRR, they're on or close to schedule. Winston Churchill's words stirred his country in the face of defeat. Today they inspire us to reach for our own victories. Commitment, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. I'm Nancy Remy on 103.9 LI News Radio.
51 right now, traveling in the Bridgehampton. You got plenty of sunshine out there, so let's get to 5-day with Bill Jacquemin.
Beautiful weather for today with bright sunshine. Temperatures around 70 degrees. Any of the morning fog will dissipate. Clear skies tonight, 50 to 55, and sunny tomorrow, 70 to 75. On Friday, wrapping up the week with bright sunshine, 65, and more sunshine, warmer on Saturday, high near 70. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high between 75 and 80. Monday, partly sunny, 75. I'm meteorologist Bill Jacquemin on 103.9 LI News Radio.
Attention contractors and all business owners. Not happy with your insurance agent or broker? Are you just paying too much? Specialized Insurance opens at 7 a.m. A 5-minute call can save you up to 50%. Call 631-758-6780. We insure all types of businesses, including property, workers' comp, and liability. Specialized Insurance can even package all your policies together. Any business, any size. We don't charge fees fees for certificates or New York Comp Fund renewals. Celebrating 22 years in business. Are you tired of paying too much for your auto, home, flood, motorcycle, or any of your insurance? Just one call does it all. Call Specialized Insurance at 631-758-6780 for all of your insurance needs, including life and anything else. More coverage, less money. There's no need to go anywhere else. Let Specialized Insurance help you save with over 50 companies to choose from. We do the shopping for you. We also have homeowners warranties. Call 631-758-6780 or log on to specializedinsurance.com.
Log on our app at SaveMeMoreMoney.us. Commercial insurance agents wanted. Don't let car shopping get you down. Come into Atlantic Honda in Bayshore and let us turn that frown upside down. During the month of September, lease a brand new 2014 Civic LX for $134 a month with zero down payment. We bet you're smiling now. Or lease a brand new 2014 Accord LX for $147 a month with zero down payment. Keep smiling because all new Hondas from Atlantic come with complimentary 1-year maintenance and roadside assistance. Plus, get guaranteed credit approval. And when we make a deal, we'll pay off your trade no matter what you owe. Trade in your old car and keep the same payment or pay even less. New 14 Civic LX 134 with zero down. New 14 Accord LX 147 with zero down. We know these deals will make anyone smile. So come into Atlantic Honda and find your smile. Atlantic Honda, 1391 Sunrise Highway, Bayshore. Member of NYAutoGiant.com or visit AtlanticHonda.com. 36 months, 0 down plus tax, 895 bank, 790 destination, 10,000 miles per year, 15 cents or after with excellent credit.
Hey, this is Councilwoman Valerie Cartwright from the town of Brookhaven. Long Island has a new place for news, traffic, weather, and information for the local community. 1039 LI News Radio.
Okay, we are back at 7:38, and we wanted to bring Senator Zeldin back on because of a botched phone line. We didn't want it to end that way. Didn't want to appear rude. I know some people thought, well, what did he just do to Senator Zeldin? Well, you know, we didn't intentionally do it.
I didn't think I was going to be back on the show this quickly. This is great.
Besides which, I think it was his phone line. But in any event, Senator, we did ask you the question regarding the president's speech, 9/11 Eve, regarding ISIL and, you know, the fact mainly airstrikes, not really a boots-on-the-ground operation. What do you think of that whole thing?
Well, the president really needs to work on further developing the strategy, both short-term and long-term. I was in Iraq in 2006, and I tell you, the Iraqi army and law enforcement, it was a victory to get them to show up to work. Just show up. Not even to do anything, just actually, punching in the clock was a victory. And that was a key part of General Petraeus' strategy with the surge in the winter of 2007, was to figure out how to get them to show up. So now the president's strategy, fast forward to today, and it starts to turn around. But fast forward to today, to rely on those Iraqis to destroy ISIS, which makes Al-Qaeda look like Boy Scouts, is I hate to say it, it's a horrendous strategy. And the president also, what was interesting was he kind of contradicted himself in a significant way. He said, what makes this different than the past wars in Iraq and Afghanistan is that there's not going to be any troops on the ground. And then he says, he's announced in the same speech that he's sending an additional 495 troops to Iraq. Which brings up the number to 1,500. So a key question is, who are those troops? What's their skill set? What is their mission in Iraq? And who's in charge of them? You need to identify someone to lead that element on the ground who has deployed, who is well-trained, has given the flexibility and the resources to implement their vision to turn the tide against ISIS. It's a little unrealistic for us to expect these Iraqi military and law enforcement to defeat ISIS. Yeah. You can't even get them to show up.
And a little conflicting, too, like you said. You're training in Iraq, you're training in Syria, you only hope. So we'll see what happens. State Senator Lee Zeldin, 3rd District, vying for a spot, of course, in the 1st Congressional District come November. Senator Zeldin, always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, same here. Talk to you soon, Jay.
You got it. LA News time is 7.